Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Midday J, and today's video is part 2 of my Revolution Beauty soiree. So in part 1 I unboxed all the products that I recently picked up from Revolution Beauty, including some swatches, some explanation from the website about what the products are, and in this part of the video I'm going to be testing out quite a few of these products and just giving you guys my first impression, and hopefully we come out with a cute look. Okay, so if you haven't seen part 1, pause this video, open a new tab, watch part 1 and come straight back to part 2. Okay, and if you've watched part 1, let's go. So before we start, please thumbs up this video if you haven't, subscribe if you're not, and it does really help me out a lot, guys. Like, I really do appreciate all the people that take the time out to subscribe and really comment and engage with me in the comment section. It does really make a difference, so thank you so much. Right, without rambling, my skincare is already done. I'm not going to be testing out the skincare products in this video, just because I've already done my skincare and it'll make it all lengthy, so that will be separate. So next thing we're going to go in is with a primer. So if you've seen my testing out XX Revolution video, you know that I tested out the other primer, like the H2O primer and the Cloud primer. This time, just because I want to use the Glow Skin Foundation, I'm going to use the Fixx Brightening Primer. So this is the one we're going to be testing out today. This one says it's got light reflecting pearls. It illuminates and brightens the skin whilst holding makeup in place. It's got cranberry, seed oil and caffeine, and it says glow all day primer for lit from within skin. We've already seen what this packaging is. I unboxed it in my XX Revolution unboxing and swatching video, so we know that it has a color to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that to my skin. See what that feels like on. Like, just off the bat, my skin does feel really hydrated, moisturized, definitely feels moisturized. I don't see that much color on my face, but I do see some sort of radiance in my skin. Like, my skin doesn't look dry, it looks like it's glowing. So let's color correct. So I'm going to be using the Pro HD Cream Contour. My OGs know that I used to use this back in the day. I finished the one that I had, but for some reason I just never repurchased it. But I'm just gonna use it to color correct a little bit because I need it. So I literally color corrected around my mouth, my darkness around my jaw area, my little spot here. So one step I forgot to do was to use my fixing spray. I normally use that after my primer. So we're just going to go ahead and use this now. And I'm using the Face Fix from XX Revolution. I do want to try this out way more just to see if it does the do. I absolutely do love the smell of this. I dimmed my lights a little bit because I thought it was a little bit too light. So I'm going to go in with the Luminous foundation in FX 14.5. And this is described as lightweight, buildable, skin-true foundation, medium to full coverage, illuminating pearlescent particles for a glowing skin finish. Is infused with hyaluronic acid to hydrate the skin, and just like its sister product, it does have a pump. So I am going to shake it up a little bit, and love the consistency. I'll start off with a brush first, and then I'll use my sponge to really blend it in. don't think that I need to go in with a sponge. I love the blend. My skin does look very luminous, very hydrated, very nice. Really, really love it. It looks glowing. Beautiful. Love the finish. Very beautiful. Now, I didn't apply the Molten Body Glow underneath the foundation because the foundation is very luminous. It says so on the packaging, so I will use this another day. Just going to do my brows off camera, and I'm going to be using the XXFINE brow. This is a newfound favorite, so I'm absolutely loving this. I'm gonna do my brows off camera and be right back. Brows are on. I'm gonna move on to my face, and I'm going to be using the Glow palette first. So we're gonna be using this one, and then I might dip into the So Jaded palette from Revolution Pro, maybe just to smoke out my lower lash line. I don't know yet, so let's see what we can create. Now, as I said, this palette doesn't have a shade name, so yeah. So first off, I'm going to go in with my P. Louise primer in 5. I love this stuff. It is such a good base. First shade I'm going to be going in with is that red shade. Build it. Wow. Wow. I wasn't ready. There isn't that much fallout from the brush actually, so, but I wasn't ready. Let me zoom. So, wow. I wasn't ready for how pigmented that red is. To blend out the edges, that I'm going to use a coral shade. I'm really going to exaggerate the outer corner. And to blend out that coral shade, I'm going to go in with this beautiful transition looking brown shade. Ooh, that's a little darker than what I was hoping for, so I'm just going to use a very light hand. Right. Because I want the outer corner to be a little darker, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the black and a little bit of the dark red shade. And I'm just going to start building up the intensity in my outer V. And I really love the way the eyeshadows are laying on top of each other. And as I said, no fallout so far. And it's so pigmented. Like literally, I just tap my brush into that black and look at that. So far, and the colors blend beautifully on top of each other. I think I'm gonna cut my crease so that we can apply a gold shade, but oh, it's just beautiful. So I just gave myself a moderate cut crease, nothing too severe. I'm gonna go ahead and try the gold shade. And look at that beauty. Oh, so pretty. And I've not even sprayed my brush or anything. I'm just going straight with that color. Oh my god. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. This gold. Everything. Look at that. Look at that. So pretty. I think I'm going to use the So Jaded palette on my lower lash line because the colors here are just stunning. And I'm going to use that matte green shade on my lower lash line. I'm gonna first of all put in a green eyeliner pencil, and then I'm gonna smoke it out with the green shade. Fingers crossed it works out. I will say about this palette is that it's pressed so softly that there's quite a lot of kickback, fallout, earthing, but the color itself is very, very pigmented. So I just went back into that gold palette and I used the dark red shade to just smoke out just underneath the green, just so that it's cohesive with the eye look. It is a beautiful color, I'm not gonna lie. It's just pressed so softly, so there's quite a lot of kickback. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the XX Revolution Concealer in 14.5. And I'm going to set that with my Juvia's Place powder. I love using that powder to set my concealer. I'm not sure if it's the setting powder that I use, but for some reason the concealer on top of this foundation, you guys can see some dark spaces underneath my eye. For me, it's just not working together. It's just not working together for some reason, but the setting powder on top of the foundation is fine. I'm not setting it as much. I'm just actually just loosely going over my face because I still want the luminosity to come through a little bit. I am oily combination skin, so luminosity with some care because I don't want to look like an oily mess. I'm just going back to touch up my eyeshadow. There we go. Okay, right, so I'm gonna go in with bronzer now. So I've got the Revolution Pro Sculpting Bronzer in Robe, and I've also got the Glow Bronzer in Dark. So I'm gonna start off with this one. I'm gonna do this on one side, see how it looks, and if not, I will switch over. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do one on one side and the other on another, but I'm just taking a little bit of the product and okay, that's pretty. That is very pretty. And I like to use my bronzer to contour as opposed to an all over bronze. That is very pretty. I'm just going to hit my cheekbones a little bit as well. I think that's very soft and pretty. I'm going to try dark on the other side. I know this one is very pigmented in the pan, so I'm literally going to use another brush for this. Just so that we can see the true depiction of it, I've got another brush and I'm just literally gonna... That is pigment. Wow. Okay. Right. This one doesn't blend as well as the other one when you hit your skin. Kind of need to really work it in. Like you can see how that one's not really smooth and that one came on my skin smoothly. Still very beautiful color. I think they look very similar in color. Let's see. Hit my temples. But I definitely think this side is better. I prefer this bronzer to this one. This one's a little messy. It's a little hard to control. You've got way more control on the Revolution Pro one. Definitely. Definitely. Like that looks messier than that. That looks very precise. Same type of brush. So yeah. Since I was unable to test the highlighter in this complexion compact, I want to test the highlighter. So I'm going to test this middle guy sparingly because she's pretty, but she's pretty dark for me. So I'm only going to use the tiniest bit. I literally just tapped it. Yeah, it's almost no different to the single highlighter color. It's quite weird, but it kind of goes with this look a little bit. And I'm going to use it as a highlighter slash blush because of the color. So I'm going to go quite wide on my face. That is pretty. Do you guys see this guy? Like, it's been how many weeks now and he's refused to go away? You can definitely see how dark that area is. Like, seriously, that bronzer control is an issue. Color's beautiful, but it's so loose, the control is an issue. Just the tiniest bit. I'm not mad at it. Like, it's pretty. Not mad at it at all. So I'm gonna apply my lashes. One second. My lashes are drying. I'm just gonna go ahead with my lip. I want to use the Hydra Gloss from Revolution Pro in Summon. So I'm gonna line my lips with a brown lip liner and then use Summon on top. This is the finished look, guys. It is stunning. Like, my skin is glowing. I'm living for this lip gloss. So let's just jump into all of it. So let's start off with the primer. So I used the XX Revolution Glow All Day Primer. I think it worked really well with the foundation. It's very difficult to test primer when you're not out in the elements, But in terms of the foundation sitting properly on it, not caking up, not looking like a hot mess, I think they worked really, really well. And I do want to use this primer a bit more. My skin did feel hydrated and it did give a bit of a luminous glow, but I want to test it out with other foundations and see what it can do, especially with matte foundations. Now, the Luminous foundation, I love the finish of this one. I actually prefer the finish of this to the other foundation from XX Revolution. My skin was glowing, it looked healthy, it was radiant, wasn't too greasy, but again, I'm not out in the elements, so I don't really know how it's going to hold up. I do have combination to oily skin, but more oily than combination, so I'll probably look like a hot mess after a couple of hours, but I haven't tested it out to fully confirm. But in terms of the finish, love it, and I love the color as well. And you guys know that I love this brow pencil. I talked about it in the testing out XX Revolution. Absolutely still love it. Will still keep using it. And I hope that there are refillables or that it's at least affordable enough to keep repurchasing. And then the face fix, I still feel the same way. It felt nice, it smells nice, but I don't know if it really does hold up makeup without going outside and testing it out, so stay tuned for that. I guess I have to keep trying it, and then hopefully when I get out of the house I will be able to give you guys a better review or impression about it. Let's move on to the eyeshadows. So the Revolution Pro So Jaded eyeshadow palette. Obviously, I only use one color from this palette, but that color is very, very pigmented, very beautiful. The shadow is a bit crumbly, and I liken it to the fact that it's just been softly pressed in the palette. There's a lot of kickback and, you know, just a lot of kickback in the pan, and this usually happens for eyeshadows that have just been pressed lightly, so they stay pigmented but they do have a lot of fallout. I am yet to try the other colors, but so far I do love that specific color, and it did blend out quite nicely, as you guys can see my lower lash line. Obviously the big daddy of them all, the Glow palette. I am a huge fan of this palette. You guys can see the look is absolutely stunning. Didn't have much issue with blending. There was no fallout on my face. Little bit of fallout in the pan, just the tiniest bit. I think the way they were pressed is the right amount of pressing. It's not too hard that you can't get any pigment, and it's not too soft that there's kickback. Like literally there's no kickback in the pan. But there was a little bit when I dipped my brush into it, but nothing like the So Jaded palette, absolutely not. So love the color selection. Perfect for anyone that loves that bronze goddess type of look. You've got your pops of color as well. You've got your neutral shades. You've got your shimmer shades. It is a really well put together palette. I appreciate that pop of blue. I'm the type of person that would wear a neutral look with a pop of color on the lower lash line, so that just gives me life. I can't say anything else about this palette. I love it. Love the size. Love the fact that it comes with a mirror. Nice and sturdy. Worth £20 in my opinion. And then the bronzers. So I tried the Revolution Pro Sculpting Bronzer in Robe, and I tried the Revolution Glow Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer in Dark. Hands down, this one's my favorite. This one has a lot of kickback in the pan. Again, it's been really, really softly pressed, and I feel like I don't have as much control as I do with this one. In terms of the color, side by side, they look exactly the same with different patterns, but I just prefer this one. The consistency is nicer. It blends really nicely when it hits the skin. This one kind of looks patchy and you really have to blend it in, but the color is amazing. It's nicely pigmented. Finish is really nice. I appreciate the fact that it comes in a wide range of colors. I think they need to definitely fill in the blank spaces with the sculpting bronzer. We definitely need more shades of those, but I do like the fact that this one comes in loads of darker shades. Well, you guys know how I feel about this concealer. In my previous video, I did like it. don't like the applicator, still don't like the applicator, but applying it on top of this foundation, for some reason it feels like it kicked up a little bit. It kind of blends now that I've used my setting spray and everything, but I just feel like it didn't sit as nicely as I would have loved it to sit. So I need to play with this a little bit more on other foundations, but so far on top of this foundation I'm not fully convinced. No. And then I don't need to speak too much about the Pro HD cream contour palette. I love this palette. I've used it so many times in the past, and yeah, it's a staple in my collection. Happy to have it back. The Revolution Pro Hydro Gloss is amazing. Smells like candy, applies like candy, very juicy, very glossy, not sticky, not annoying, and the fragrance doesn't linger. It still smells like candy, but it's not off-putting or anything, and the color is very, very pigmented. Really love this shade, and I'm really tempted to pick up more shades because I just love the consistency, and I've been loving a lip pencil with a gloss with some color. Oh, stunning, like stunning. Yeah guys, so that is all the products that I tried today. Oh, one more. So this one from XX Revolution, the highlighter shade, I think I would definitely use it, continue to use it as a blush highlighter because it just looks really, really natural and glowy on my skin. That color is a little dark for me, but as a blush highlighter it looks really, really beautiful. So yeah, that is it guys. That's all the products that I tried today. Let me know your favorites in the comment box. Let me know what you're thinking. Are you gonna check out the Glow collection? I will leave as many links as I can in the description box. Definitely check out part 1 if you haven't seen it already. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please remember to thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I will catch you in a future video. Remember, God doesn't like ugly, so be nice to someone today.